So anybody that hasn't seen this, TimTheTatman today was announced that he was going to be leaving YouTube. He's going to be leaving Twitch and going to YouTube. So he's no longer streaming on Twitch. You guys remember 2 years ago? I remember I watched the video whenever it was Tim and ironically Lupo and Lyric and I think one other person that all at the same time signed exclusive deals for Twitch. Well, these are all 2-year deals. Just trust me, I know that they're 2-year deals. So this has run out at this point, and Tim has pursued a contract with YouTube. YouTube is, in my opinion, growing a lot in live streaming, and I think it's going to continue growing, and I want to talk about why that is, and the reasons that I think that YouTube is going to continue to expand and get bigger over time. One thing that a lot of people forget, and this is something that a lot of people just don't really, yeah, they just forget, they don't realize, is that for every 1 user that Twitch has, YouTube has 200. YouTube is astronomically bigger than Twitch is. It's not even remotely close. YouTube is massive, and YouTube is also Google. You have to keep that in mind too. So on a macro level, I think that Google and YouTube are just completely killing Twitch because they just have a much larger endemic audience. They have a much larger group of people that are watching their content and everything. And on top of that, another big reason why I think YouTube is just so much bigger is the fact that it has so much more of a scope of content. I think that Twitch, this has been like a negative with Twitch, I think it served to be one, is that Twitch has not really been able to shed the skin of its gaming-centric platform expectation. So there's a lot of people who don't want to watch gaming. I think most people don't want to watch gaming. Whenever you really think about it, that's why YouTube and Twitch is a 1:200 ratio. A lot of people love seeing like makeup tutorials, IRL videos, blogs, etc. And I think Twitch over the years has cultivated an audience of people who, in a lot of ways, place in terms of virtue gaming above those other types of content. And I think this has been to the detriment, and it's been reductionist towards Twitch, and it's actually hurt Twitch's growth potential because people only look at Twitch in the context of being a gaming website rather than in the context of being a live streaming website. YouTube's going to buy them out. YouTube's not going to buy Twitch because like Amazon owns Twitch, and I don't really think that Amazon would get rid of Twitch. It would be possible, but I don't even know if they could buy Twitch, and that's really the truth, because there are a lot of like antitrust and like anti-monopoly laws, and I think that if YouTube bought Twitch, that might actually go into that territory, but you still do have Facebook to counterbalance it, so it's hard to say. YouTube and Twitch, the reason why YouTube is poised to be able to actually contest with Twitch and compete with Twitch in terms of live streaming space is that they both have endemic audiences. They both have organic audiences that exist on the platform. They're basically, whenever you bring over Shroud, whenever you bring over Ninja, you bring over one of these big content creators, it's like taking a gigantic tree out of a forest. And if you plant that tree all by itself with no grass around it, no other vegetation around it, nothing, that tree is either going to stop growing or it's going to die. And the reason for that is because you need to create an ecosystem. And this is what YouTube is doing, is they are creating much more of an ecosystem rather than what Mixer is doing. What Mixer did is they just picked up a few trees and they relocated them and the trees died. YouTube has got a completely different perspective with this. YouTube is picking up Dr. Lupo. They're picking up TimTheTatman. They already have Dr. Disrespect. They've got a number of other content creators like Courage. You have these 4 people, and Courage plays with Tim, and Tim plays with Doc, and Doc plays with Dr. Lupo, and then Dr. Lupo plays with Courage, and then Dr. Lupo also plays with Tim, and then Dr. Lupo and Tim and Courage all play together. So what is this? This is what's called cross-pollination. This is creating that ecosystem of viewership. So whenever a person stops watching Dr. Disrespect, they don't leave the platform. They go over and they watch another streamer on the platform. And I think that's really where YouTube is making a point of difference in the way that they can compete with Twitch legitimately, is that they're able to create that ecosystem itself. They're able to create the amount of people who are able to, yeah, it's a human centipede. You're right. It's basically what it is. You need to have those shrubs. You need to have those viewers, the streamers that are at 200, 500 viewers. You need to have those streamers that are up 3,000, 30,000 viewers. You need to create the entire, I think the best metaphor for this is a forest. You create the forest, you create the ecosystem. And whenever you do that, you don't just pick up trees, you don't just pick up shrubs, you pick up everything. And that's where I really think YouTube is going to be able to come out ahead. And that's why I think that Twitch should be concerned about YouTube, is because YouTube is uniquely poised to have the audience, they have the money, and they also can guarantee growth. There are success metrics and success cases on YouTube in the way that there are not on Mixer, or not as much really on Facebook. And Ninja, well, Ninja is the opposite, right? Ninja is the example of moving platforms and it being very bad. But the point that I'm making is that whenever you see these people moving over, most of the time this is a retirement plan. This is a sunset in their career. But what YouTube has been able to prove is that that is not the case. They've been able to prove that, and the creators there have been able to prove that you can move over to YouTube and the water's just fine. And in an ironic way, I think that you can draw a lot of parallels between people moving over from Twitch to YouTube and people moving over from WoW to Final Fantasy XIV, because it takes a few people to move over and show that, to legitimize the process and legitimize this decision for everybody else to feel more comfortable. Here's the point. I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys this right now. Do you know whenever YouTube is going to actually, you know what is going to legitimize YouTube as a streaming platform? Is whenever people move over there without getting paid. That is whenever it begins. And the more people that you have over there that are already building an ecosystem, like Tim, Dr. Lupo and Doc, how are they both doctors? Like, how are they, but they're not, we know that. We know they're not real doctors, but still. And as soon as you start seeing enough of those larger creators that are able to cross-pollinate each other and keep those viewers on the platform, then you're going to see other people wanting to transition over to playing and streaming on YouTube. I think that once that happens, the moment that happens, that's whenever all bets are off. That's whenever it's going to be a real competition between Twitch and YouTube. And I think that really this would have happened way earlier. The only reason why it hasn't happened earlier is because in Twitch contracts, in every single Twitch contract, except for like maybe a handful of grandfathered contracts or something like that with specific partners, every single one has an exclusivity clause. And what that means is that you can only stream on Twitch. That's it. Because here's the truth. Here's the reality. Is that, do you remember whenever we watched Gamescom? Did I watch that on Twitch or did I watch it on YouTube? I watched it on YouTube. And the reason for that is because their video player is better. That's it. Their video player is better. Now, and I said this to someone on Twitter. I said that, well, someone's like, oh, well, Twitch has a better chat experience. I hate to tell you guys this, but most people don't care about chat. But what I will say is that if you think the YouTube chat is worse, ask yourself the simple question. Is it easier to solve the problem of bad audio and video quality, or is it easier to solve the problem of a bad chat experience? And I think it is so obvious that it is way fucking easier to fix the chat. It is way easier to add in emotes and to add in different types of things that simulate the value of Twitch chat. Now for me, right, I guess I'll talk about, like, for me personally, would I ever move to YouTube? I know a lot of people ask about that all the time, and like especially today, they're like, oh man, is Asmon taking some time off because he's gonna move to YouTube? No, I'm not planning on moving to YouTube right now. Now, if YouTube wants to pay me $20 million, we'll see what happens. But well, I'm waiting for the check. Let's just say that. Yeah, I'm waiting for the check. I think that, like, the funny thing is that more people watch me on YouTube than watch me on Twitch. Like, for example, on the month that I played Final Fantasy, I got, like, on Twitch, I think it was like 14 million views, because there's like a graphic that was made about it. Like 14 million live views on Twitch, or views on like my VODs and like my videos. 14 million. I got over 50 million views on YouTube. Over 50 fucking million views. I'm very lucky for that. I want to say thank you guys if you're watching this on YouTube, which is why I'm really kind of making this video. Yeah, this isn't like a weird thing where I'm going to go on break but stream for 12 hours a day on Zach Raw or something. Like, there's a lot of, like, I'll talk about reason why I want to go on break. Just like, there's a lot of reasons, but like, I want people to understand that it's really got nothing to do, think about it like a car. Okay, like let me just go ahead and use this as an example. Like, think about it like a car. I feel like the car that I have that's my stream is not running properly. And the annoying people on Twitter and everything like that, that's like having a mosquito in the car while you're driving. Is it annoying? Does it make it a little bit worse? Yeah, it does. But that's not really what the problem is. It's not. I think that I'm at like a weird crossroads of like the way that I want to do my streams. And I've been thinking about this for a long time, and I don't know what to do. And that's why I'm taking a little bit of a break to figure out what I want to do and how I want to go forward. That's really what it comes down to. And it's got nothing really to do with people being mean or whatever. Like, obviously it makes it worse. Yeah, sure. But like, it's not really a factor. You want to stop playing Final Fantasy? No, that's not it. I wish I could play it more, but I want to save everything for being on stream. So, yeah, it's actually the opposite in a way. Choosing I want to choose a direction for my stream, what I want to do with my stream. I think that's really what it comes down to. I'm trying to figure out, like, what direction to go with the stream. And there's also, like, real life things that are going on, too. I've said before, like, my mom's been kind of, like, not feeling well, and it's been harder for her to get around the house. That's not been good, and it's been not good, and so yeah, there's really a lot of things going on behind the scenes that people don't really know. That's the point. Hope you're gonna be okay soon. Me too. I just like I'm trying to take some time off too. Like, I'm gonna try to get the house cleaned up for her, and really just do some stuff to try to just make her life better. You know, because like, I feel like there's like the kitchen's a mess, like the house is a mess, and it's like she doesn't like that. It's hard for her to clean everything up, and it's like, I finished my stream, I'm tired, and I don't want to deal with it. And I feel guilty, and like she feels guilty for asking me. I feel guilty for not doing it. It's just hire a maid. I mean, I think that's, I'd like to hire somebody, but like it just sucks, man. That just sucks. I never wanted to grow up. I never did. This sucks as much dick as I thought it would. But there is one good thing, is I can go to Chipotle whenever I want. I go get food whenever I want. That is good. That's one of the good parts of it. But everything else sucks. Yeah, I don't want to get too far into that. But just know that like there's a lot of other things going on in my personal life that are, it's outside of streaming. Like, it's not. Like, I've seen like some Reddit comments and things like that, people admonishing viewers that are demanding or whatever. Like, yeah, it stresses me out a little bit for sure. It's just a drop in a bucket, man. Like, it's a drop in a bucket. Like, that's not, don't worry about that. Like, I'll handle myself. I'm a grown ass man. It's other shit that that's a lot bigger than that. So just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind, and that's what it is. Yeah, getting old sucks. I feel like I'm not old, but feels like everything else around me is getting old. I don't know. Like, if the more I talk about this, the more I want to talk about it, and I don't want to talk about it. So let's not talk about it anymore. Let's just move on. I want to get. You still doing the PO box stream? Yeah. Spoiler. PO box stream's probably gonna be my second stream back. First stream I want to do Stormblood, and then second stream I want to do PO box, and I'm excited for it. Proved money isn't everything. Having money isn't everything, but not having it is. It's just that simple. If you know, you know. Either way, let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about YouTube. Let's talk a little bit more about YouTube, get into that. Maybe try a YouTube test stream on your return? No, because I got a contract with Twitch. Like, so I don't have, like, I guess I can just say transparency. Twitch did not offer me a custom contract. They did not offer me. I was gonna see if I could get one. They would not give me one. I think that's probably because you know, I take a lot of breaks, and also it's because I've probably been like really critical of the platform, and they could see me as like a what's the word for it? Like a politically incorrect. They could see me as like a liability in some ways. Brand risk, yeah, exactly. That's fine. That's fine. Like, it made me, it bothered me for like a day, and then I realized that why do I need a stamp of approval from a bunch of people that don't even like me to feel good about myself? And then I think to myself, I'm gonna go on tomorrow, I'm gonna make a good show, and fuck them. That's the way I feel. But either way, I still do have a base Twitch contract. Disclosure, by the way. Everybody knows this, but like it is what it is. And you have exclusivity in your partner contract, so I can't stream on YouTube or they'd terminate my partnership. They probably wouldn't. It'd be just like a bunch of drama, and it's like I wouldn't want to deal with it. What about making a new platform with other streamers? That's like making a new country, man. It's you know, you don't like America. How did Chaz go? Not too good. Truth is, like, doing something like that is really hard. And unless you have like think about the people that are the players in live streaming, right? You got Amazon, Google, Microsoft with Mixer, Facebook, and what is it going to be? An OTK? We're not there yet, man. We're not there yet. So there's a long way for us to go. I think we're going to see a number of other people leave to YouTube very soon. And as I said, I think that whenever YouTube is truly going to become a powerful competitor to Twitch is whenever people go to YouTube without being paid $1 million. Whenever that happens, that's whenever you're really going to see the change occur. And I want you guys to understand this as a viewer. This is good for streamers because streamers get more money. This is good for viewers because the quality of the content that you're competing, that you're watching, is competing with each other, so it's getting better and better and better. I'll give you an example of this, just to kind of to give you an example. Is that, do you remember whenever the Xbox 360, no, the Xbox One came out, and they were going to make it to where you had to always have it plugged into the internet, and where you had to, you couldn't resell games, and like there were a bunch of these other like weird 1984 policies with it? The reason why that didn't happen is not because of Microsoft. It's because of Sony. It's because Sony said, we're bringing out the PS4, it's not going to have any of that bullshit. Thanks for playing our games all these years, this is for you. And you got a better Xbox One because of Sony. And that's what I think is going to happen with YouTube and Twitch. So for you, the viewers, for us, the streamers, we win. Keep that in mind. I think that things will only continue to get bigger and better. And I'm happy and I'm looking forward to seeing it. So anyway, guys, as I said, it's going to be a short stream. I'm not going to make a really habit of this unless there's other fucking massive news or whatever. But, yeah, that's about how I feel. And I'll see you guys next week. I'll see you next week or until some other crazy shit happens. Peace. See ya.